Hi there. Welcome to Capital Region Sunday. I'm Richie Phillips, and I am here this week with an old, well, I don't want to say old. I'm old.
You're old too, Richie. We're getting older. Aging in place, man.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. This ties into what we're talking about. We have the Director of Marketing and Development at Baptist Health Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Scotia. I practiced that 3 times to get it all out.
It is a mouthful.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ruth Tietz, congratulations for coming in.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I found you. I was a little late this morning. So technology is wonderful, except when you keep getting redirected. So there's a direct correlation to your anxiety level. But I'm really happy to be here and hanging out with you, Richie, and talking about something as wonderful as Baptist Health System and some of the different things that we do for seniors in our community.
I want to start with a quote. This is from Ann Landers, believe it or not. I saw this on the internet. At age 20, we worry about what others think of us. At age 40, we don't care what they think. At age 60, we find out nobody's thinking about us at all. Not with your organization.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it is an amazing place. So we do a few different things. We first of all, we're a wonderful not-for-profit 501c3 faith-based, mission-driven provider of aging services right here in your backyard in Scotia Glenville, New York. We have a skilled nursing facility which takes care at any given time of 262 people. We also have a great rehab subacute rehabilitation program called Homeward Bound. Our mission is to get you well and get you home because, let's face it, everybody wants to be home.
It's true.
And then we also have an assisted living community. It's new and it's beautiful, 2 years old, called Judson Meadows. And one of the really neat things about Judson Meadows that not too many people know is we are one of the very few providers of assisted living in New York State that actually has some Medicaid-funded assisted living beds or apartments, if you will, right on our campus. And that's really a wonderful thing because a lot of people, unfortunately, end up sometimes in a skilled level of care that really don't need to be there. And a program like this that is a not-for-profit program, these ALP beds, as they're called in the industry.
ALP, A-L-P?
A-L-P, Assisted Living Program Beds, that stands for. That's a really wonderful opportunity for somebody who really could thrive in that level of care to be there who might not otherwise be able to afford it. Because as you know, sometimes, aging services, they cost a little bit. So to be able to be a provider who, has mission so that we can help those who, maybe just don't have the resources, it's a really great thing.
Can you speak to the differences, though, in the level of care and how to navigate the process? Because it's a long process for people.
It sure is. I've been at this now for over 11 years, and sometimes if I wasn't steeped in this every day, I think I would, as a consumer, have a problem because you see all this advertising, you read all these things in the paper. What really is the determinant is as we age, all of us have different clinical complexities. Things like falls cause more, like I think 80% of the reason that people end up in subacute rehab and facilities is because
always
of falls.
Hear a fall.
Right. So something like, oh yeah, that's never going to happen to me. Well, you see it all the time. So usually there's like a precipitating event, we like to call it. Something happens where someone ends up in a hospital. So you have your hospital stay. You're either, diagnosed or not diagnosed, but clearly you can't go home.
Right.
So at that point, you need rehab, generally speaking. So subacute rehab, a geriatric specialty rehab program, and there's many fantastic providers out there. We, again, have that program, Homeward Bound.
Which is fantastic.
Where, hundreds of people go home. It's the happiest day when I see people walk by my office and they're like, I'm going home, and you guys were great. You got us all fixed up.
The operative word is they walk by your office. Right?
Exactly.
Yep.
And so that happens all the time. So a lot of times people think, oh, my gosh, I'm going to a nursing home for rehab care. And it can really freak you out. What we want people to know is, our goal is to get you home and get you well, too. So you have the rehab program, generally speaking, at most skilled facilities or elsewhere. And then at that point, you either go home or you transition to another level of care. Maybe that's moving into a safer situation. Maybe you stay with, your adult children for a while. Maybe you consider downsizing. The house might just be too much. Yep. So that's when you consider going into assisted living or even there's another level of care, independent living. Assisted living is where you still need some help with some of your activities of daily living. So, maybe you don't really want to prepare food anymore. That's not a safe thing for you. Maybe the upkeep of the house. Maybe you need some help with queuing for medication. Maybe you're getting forgetful. I mean, I know I can barely make it out of the house. I'm teasing and jest, but seriously, there's many forms of dementia. Not everybody who forgets their keys has dementia. It's when you forget what the keys are for that you might you might want to reconsider.
I have a parent who's in assisted living. I have a parent who's in independent living. If you'd like to ask me any questions, I'm becoming an expert by default.
I'm sure you are.
And a lot of us are. This is where it gets dumped on you, and you have to not dumped on you, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well,
we become responsible, and we don't know where to go. It's very, very, very complex sometimes.
Yeah, there's some great organizations too. And we'll get back to a little bit more about Baptist too.
Right.
But I want to tell you, and anybody who's listening, there's a great organization called Albany Guardian Society .org.
Got to write that one down.
And they are wonderful. They represent just about every aging service provider in the capital region.
Oh, great.
And over the years, they put this consumer guide out that has everything broken down from independent living to assisted living to skilled nursing. And I've used that, referenced that tool myself when I was dealing with my own parents and some of their issues, and also given that to everyone I know. And it really is an invaluable resource. So go to their website and definitely check that out. But independent living is, just backing up a little bit, independent living is the level of care where you're independently living. You're living in a senior
it's an
apartment community.
Right.
And, it's nice for a lot of people because the socialization aspect of it, let's face it, I mean, some of these places have more going on than, you and I do in a month.
It's like a hotel / college dorm / cruise.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
It totally is, with great food.
Yes, with great food.
Yeah. And, it's just a wonderful experience for so many.
Right.
And it's funny because a lot of times, nobody likes change. Putting the pencils from one side of the desk to the other sometimes can freak me out. But when you get to a point where, oh my gosh, I'm giving up my house, I'm downsizing, and you go to an independent level of care, transitions are always tough, but most people find like after the first couple of weeks, they've met friends, they have dining companions, they're having, robust conversations about things, that were very in vogue at during different parts of their lives, and they're just having a good time.
My mother was the definitive, or what's the term?
Quintessential?
The quintessential, there's the word, the quintessential shut-in. She was in an apartment complex for years. We'd call, she wouldn't know what day it was, basically. So we were getting really worried about her. We put her into, and she was a little beyond the independent living stage, so we decided to go with the assisted living stage. She completely turned around. And there's a factor there that I never considered before. Like, she became like the caregiver for people who were worse off than her.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
A sense of purpose. So important.
Exactly.
In all of us. And, when you think about that, when you're younger, right? Let's say younger, let's for the sake of this 30s, right? When you're younger and you trip and fall, you get up and you have a bloody knee and you get it fixed and you laugh it off with your buddies. And, when you're 75 and you trip and fall, your adult children are like, Mom, Dad, what are you doing? How did this happen?
Correct.
What's going on? So you don't even really want to share with people when something's not going well. So it's always very important to have that sense of purpose. So I want to just remind you, Richie, that Judson Meadows right now, we also have respite care and short-term stays. And what's really nice about that is you can come and try it out. Maybe you don't want to leave your mom or dad while you're taking a vacation and you've been talking about assisted living.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a really good way. It's like a hotel stay. It's like going on vacation.
Never heard of something like that. That's
so we
great.
do offer that. And we have a really cool free concert coming up on August 25th. That's next Tuesday, a week from today. And it's the Tishy Boys are going to be there for an oldies rock and roll night. And it's a really great way to, just check the place out and listen to some great music. So if you have any questions, please find me at Baptist Health, which is www.bapthealth.com. Again, I'm Ruth Tietz, and it's been great to be here with you.
I was so concerned about filling 10 minutes. Could we do another 30?
I know.
We didn't get to 19 questions on my sheet.
Exactly.
That's great. Thank you so much, Ruth.
Thanks, Richie.